Ruslan KD did a video a couple of days ago on Kendrick Lamar's new song, and a lot of the fans came at Ruslan in the comment section saying that Ruslan doesn't have the right to speak on it because he's not a hip-hop artist. While Ruslan is a Christian hip-hop artist, they feel that he's not, well, they feel like he's not qualified to speak on it. Well, Joe Budden podcast, and as you see on the screen here, Lecrae, one of the biggest Christian hip-hop artists that there is, had something to say about it. So we're going to check that out and see what they had to say.
For people.
About a week ago, I did a video on Kendrick Lamar's song Reincarnated. Into the utter horror of Kendrick Lamar fanboys, I was dragged in the comments section. I said that in the record, the third verse is clearly Kendrick rapping from the perspective of Lucifer and trying to take the devil's story back. I mean, he plainly tells you so much. Well, of course, when someone is a Kendrick Lamar fanboy, they cannot stand this, the cognitive dissonance. He's my hero. He's so close. He's so enlightened.
First of all, man, what is this? The pants, man. I'm not digging the new style, but hey, that's just me, man. I like straight leg denim.
So smart. Other outlets have since came out and acknowledged that this is a pretty dark story. Let's pull up the Joe Budden podcast clip on this. But we also got our own, the homie, Lecrae, who phoned in from Nigeria, Africa, to give his thoughts on the situation. Okay, so all you guys that jumped out the window and said that I didn't know what I was talking about, Ruslan, you don't understand hip-hop, you're not a part of the culture. Well, here's the culture making the same exact points by two prominent people within the culture, using the same exact points as I did in this conversation. So let's first look at the Joe Budden podcast.
Yeah, but I was thinking the scenarios were actual stories from artists in the past.
Got it.
I don't hear that.
No, that's what I heard. They said they are actual artists, and those artists passed away, and they were born again, and it kept going like that.
Who was born again?
He was.
He's the last person.
Saint Lucifer was born into the artist and then passed away and then
I
came
got
again
that,
into
but
another
I'm
person.
saying verse 1 and verse 2, there's no information in there in verse 1 and verse 2 that says, I'm talking about Chuck Berry. I'm talking about Billie Holiday.
No,
Actually, the opening of the song, he is saying, me dancing through my past life transgressions had me here. And then in the final verse, he comes on and says, and now I'm me. And he's pulling from the information from his past, whoever the other person was.
John Lee Hooker.
So first of all, I don't think that Christians should be listening to Kendrick Lamar whatsoever. I mean, he's mocked Jesus on the cross. And even now in this video, he has the sign up that says Jesus saves gangsters, which although that is true, gangsters, number one, don't go to heaven without true repentance. So Jesus doesn't just save gangsters just because Jesus saves. You have to accept Jesus into your life. Now, with what they're saying about how these lyrics aren't reflecting Satan being these artists being the embodiment of Satan, I think that's all upon the interpreter of the word to agree with that. Obviously, Joe Budden is not agreeing with that, but listen to what this next person says.
Heard was
And
what's the other name I just told you?
Dinah Washington.
Dinah Washington.
So it wasn't Billie Holiday.
They are saying that
I'm just saying what I hear when
our
I
interpretation
listen
is
to the
different.
song.
Yeah, our interpretation is different.
So
But that's art.
this guy in the blue hoodie right here, his interpretation is totally different than Joe Budden's.
Interpretation is different. So this is the culture. It's the biggest hip hop podcast in the world, and two of the hosts are saying verbatim what I told you guys. They're actually saying more than that. They're actually saying the whole song is written from the perspective of Satan, reincarnating themselves and landing in Kendrick Lamar. I just said the third verse was
And that's what Joe Budden was saying, right? Just right now.
Joe Budden's saying I don't hear it that way.
That's
The
real art.
way I gathered it was the devil, and then this person, and now I'm reincarnated, and I'm still kind of having some of the fights that those people had with different. You know what I'm saying? Reincarnation is when you die and you're born as somebody else.
Pause it. Okay, so he has to explain what reincarnation is to Joe Budden. So those of you guys that said Ruslan is nobody's talking about.
So as I was saying, it's all in your interpretation. But if you have spiritual ears to hear and discernment, you understand that the way that this song is written is from the embodiment. This is Satan reincarnated from one artist to the next artist of this song. Now let's listen to what Lecrae had to say in this song or about this song.
And I was listening to Kendrick's album and just like, man, thinking about how wonderful of a craftsman he is. Just like, golly, he's so good at this. And this music and the soundscape and the lyricism, it's just the concepts. It's like a class in its own in terms of his creative giftings. But then the more I listen, I hear the things that are dangerous for people. Specifically, the Reincarnated song. The Reincarnated song, on first listen, I'm just like acknowledging like, oh, he took a Tupac beat and you know what I'm saying? He's telling a story and you get into the story. And it's almost like when someone is telling you this amazing story and they take a left turn that you wasn't expecting them to take. And you're like, hold on, wait, say that again? You know what I mean? That's what it felt like to me. It was like somebody was telling me a story, and it was like, yeah, man. And then, I walked in the room, and that's when I headbutted the television. And I'm like, wait, what? You did what? Wait, rewind. What happened?
And you see, this stuff is spiritual, guys. The rap industry is demonic to the core, and it's ran in a demonic mindset as well, to where they have to tell you all the crazy stuff, but you hear it as a song. You think they're just playing a role. So therefore, all this stuff is just supposed to be taken with a grain of salt. But some of this stuff is serious, guys. Some of this stuff is real.
So as I'm listening to the song, someone's like, yo, he's retelling the story of Lucifer. And I'm like, oh, let me listen to it. Let me pay attention. Because, I'm not a lyrics first guy. I'm a vibe first guy. So I go back and I'm like, let me listen to the lyrics. And I'm listening to the lyrics and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. You're saying Lucifer embodied this first artist, then embodied the second artist, and then currently embodies you. And I'm like, whoa, my God. Whoa, now. Slow down. That's a bit.
And this is to all the people that put Kendrick Lamar they say that he's a Christian. Just because a person says they're a Christian doesn't mean they're a Christian. No Christian would mock Jesus on the cross. No Christian would say that they're the devil. No Christian would do some of the things that Kendrick Lamar is doing. It's not the fruit of the Spirit. You don't behave that way. You judge a Christian by their fruit. Kendrick Lamar doesn't have the fruit of a Christian.
We're going too far. Not only are we going too far, we're getting some biblical texts wrong. So on one end of the spectrum, just the idea in Isaiah 14 that he was the morning star that fell to the earth, and that's where he's saying he's getting his text from the story of Lucifer from Isaiah 14, which a lot of people do use as the story of Lucifer, but we can't say that without a shadow of a doubt. It's a biblical text about the king of Babylon, and some people use it as a parallel, but we can't put a flagpole in that, right? We take creative licenses like, yo, this might be also referring to Lucifer, but there's nowhere where you can absolutely say that for sure scripturally. Also about him being a master musician, it's like that's Ezekiel 28, which is not really legit either, because what we've done is we've looked at the King James Version, which says he's made of like all these things, including tambourines, like, oh, he's made of instruments, but they actually got the Hebrew interpretation wrong. And so he was made of crystals and diamonds and different beautiful stones, not a tambourine. So we even got that part wrong. He's not like the master of music in hell. So that's another thing that I think we veered off from. And I'm like, sure, the best of us have done that. We've taken a wrong turn theologically and gotten, it's good for us to understand original context. But what I think is dangerous is what it feels like to me is Kendrick is saying that there's some redemption for Satan. Like Satan is saying, but Father, look, I embodied Kendrick and did all these good things.
There's no redemption for Satan. Satan's destiny is written for him already in the book of Revelation. He loses to Jesus. There's no changing that. Satan cannot be redeemed. He sealed his fate. He is the father of all lies, and he hates you as a person. He hates everything you stand for. He hates your belief and your faith in Jesus. He wants to steal, kill, and destroy. So there's no redemption for Satan.
They're not hope for me. And it's like, no, you can't rewrite the scriptures. You can't. Like, to rewrite the scriptures means that you're putting yourself in the place of God. You can't take what is authoritative and inspired and infallible and just make your own version of it. Like, that's
right. Paul says to not add or take away anything from the text. And in order for this to be the reality, for Satan to be forgiven and redeemed, would be that you are adding to the text, and that's just not a reality. So I'm gonna leave you guys to watch the video. It's Ruslan says they tried to come at me, or they tried to come for me after the Satanic Kendrick video with Lecrae official. But what are you guys' thoughts on this new Kendrick Lamar song? What are your thoughts on Kendrick Lamar, period? Do you think that it's okay for him to be dressing up as Jesus and using the name of Jesus the way that he does when he's clearly not a Christian? And what are your thoughts on that? So that's going to do it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, God bless.